Alright, I'm running out of things to talk about when it comes to the Skate 3 glitch list, so I'll just combine 3 categories into one video this time, that being clothing, cameras, and replay. First, let's start with clothing, since you want to style yourself every time you want to boot up the game, and you obviously don't want to look like some homeless guy who refuses to change their clothes. Here's something you might not know. When picking a jacket, you have an option to open the jacket and then you can see inside the shirt. Well, that shirt is always white. Picking a default shirt and then switching to a jacket will just make it white again. But if you were to import this preset skater who has an open jacket and that shirt being brown, you can change the jacket and the shirt won't change to white. Now, that'll be the only normal glitch you'll see this entire video, because now I'll teach you to have no legs. If you happen to import someone off your friends list who is wearing skinny jeans with some high socks to go along with it, your legs should disappear once you changed your pants to shorts or really short shorts. Side note, if you find anyone that has invisible legs, 9 out of 10 times they can just do the forwards band with ease. I don't know, that's just something I've noticed. Now, we're onto using glitches that involve using the graphics creator. I have some unfortunate news. Anyone who has started playing this game as of May 2013, you cannot do this glitch. To do these next set of glitches, you're going to need to have a little square from your graphics creator. To get this square, you can either download someone else's profile who has the square, or use the modern day version of modding your 360 console. Sorry, new gen console players. Now with this small square, you can create stuff like colored grip tape. Sorry, that's a modded texture, my bad. Colored grip tape. By taking this small square and then enlarging it as big as it can go, you can then select a different logo, brand, or team, and your board will change colors. On first observation, you'd notice that the board you just made is a solid color. To make it more of a realistic look, go back into Edit Skater and shrink the box until it gets to a realistic grip tape look. Now the discount method way is if you don't have the small box, you can then import someone who already has colored grip tape. If you were to go into Edit Skater, you can then change the logo that is used on the board, changing the color of it. For this next glitch, you don't really need the small box, but it does help to get a better result. By equipping a customizable hoodie, and then selecting a brand logo, DLX, you need to make the logo as big as you can. And then you can then back out and choose a different logo, which will then glitch the hoodie, making your hood a different color, or your sleeves a different color. And here are the results for using the small box method. Obviously a better choice. This method also works on jackets as well. When looking into accessories, you'll see glasses, necklaces, wrists, and rings, but nothing that says gloves. Yet, if you go into an online lobby, sometimes you might find someone who has gloves. How'd they do that? This is also a bit of a 2-in-1 glitch, I would say. If you notice, by picking a customizable tee or hoodie, you can only select brands and team logos. But, if you go to the tattoo section, you'll find a lot of tribal stuff that you might like. None of these tribal tattoos appear on the customizable tee. Well, by doing this method, you can get them on your t-shirt. By choosing the tattoo that you want and going to a customizable tee, there is a buffer time when hovering over the clothes that you want to when it appears on your skater. It's a small window, but you can notice it. The goal is to select the customizable tee before the customizable tee appears on your skater. You won't always get it first try, so keep trying it, and eventually the tattoo will appear on the shirt. Now for the gloves portion. You want to go back into tattoos, select an arm, and choose the big skull tattoo. Then you want to make it as big as you can, stretching across the whole entire arm. Make your way to shirts and then do the tattoo shirt glitch again. Once it's on your arm, you make your way to brand logos and go down all the way to the blue Vox logo. And now this is where it becomes a 3-in-1 glitch, because you now have an infinite tattoo. Instead of sizing the Vox logo, it now chooses from the collection of tribal logos that it was a part of, but in this particular case, you want to use the dragon tattoo. With the dragon tattoo, you keep enlarging it by holding upwards and rotating it until your hands turn black. Now, the easier method is to use the small box. Go to tattoos, get the small box, and make it big. Do the tattoo shirt glitch again. Once you got it, add brand or team logo. And now this is where it becomes a part 4 glitch, because not only do you have an infinite tattoo, this infinite tattoo allows you to have tattoos on both arms instead of one. And now lastly, find the correct tattoo, rotate and scale the correct tattoo until both your hands turn black. There you go. This next glitch allows you to get a sunburn, or an unburn. There is no small box required, but you do have to be a female skater. Another requirement is that you have to have long hair. And another requirement is that you have to wear a hat, but make sure that the hat doesn't cover the hair. Now, make your skin as white as you can, then make your way back to hair, and then choose pigtails. Go back to skin and then make it as dark as you can. You'll notice that your head will not change color, but your body will. You can also do the exact opposite. Start really dark, change the pigtails, and then go really light. Okay, now let's say that you're just a gatekeeping piece of shit and you don't want anyone to steal your skaters because you believe it looks so cool no one should have it. Well, there is a way to do that. In Skate 3, you're able to import characters off your friends list, but you can't import someone that has newly imported someone else. To break this down, there are 3 people: Person A, Person B, and Person C. Person B sees Person A and wants their skater, so they import it. Person C sees Person B and wants that same skater. They cannot import from Person B, they have to go to Person A. If they go to Person B, it gives them their previous skater that they just made. Meaning, to do this glitch, you have to have 2 accounts. You have your main and then you have your alt. Have your alt import your main, and then just change one thing in Edit Skaters. Now go back to your main and mess up your character. Make them fat, make them ugly, put no legs on. Do whatever you want to your skater. Once you've saved that character, then you import your alt. Since you're only playing on your main and not your alt, people will only see your main, and if they try to import your main, you end up getting that very ugly skater that you made previously. If you remember my previous video where I talked about stealing skate parks, well, that same method works on skaters as well. This only affects your skaters and the ones that you have made previously. Let's say you changed your character and you didn't like how it was, but you want to go back, but it's too late, you already saved your skater. Well, if you happen to have a replay, you can take it back. By filling up your replays and trying to save that replay, you hit Select Skate Reel Browser and you should have your old skater back. In the current day of 2023, if you enter a free skate, you might find these freaks of nature. Is he a chicken? Now these aren't glitches, these are mods. They're glowing, they're invisible, they are Shrek and or
No, the other one.
Yo, it's a fucking thing!
You cannot get these skaters by glitching, only by importing. Or just follow Vibe Wish on YouTube, who goes over all these crazy ass skaters. Now for the last clothing glitch, the no texture glitches. This only works with DLC clothes. If you don't have these DLCs, they're not gonna work. For this example, I'm gonna choose After Dark DLC clothes. So, the Santa Cruz board and these denim jeans. Equip these and then exit out of Edit Skater so it saves your skater. Now go back into it and change your character to a female. You then want to exit that to save that skater, and then quit out of Skate 3, and then delete the After Dark DLC. Once you go back in, you should be your female skater. Go into Edit Skater and change back to male. Those DLC pants and board should still be with you, but because that DLC isn't there, no textures show up. That's all I have to talk about for clothing. Now let's move on to replays. When in the replays, there is some useful knowledge to know about, such as a keyframe limit, and also the limits to the focal length of the lens. In the replay editor, the lens can only go up to 24mm or 75mm. In layman terms, how far you can zoom in. But there is a way to go past these limits. When using Advanced FreeCam, Skate 3 has implemented a smooth transitioning effect, meaning when you place down your keyframes, the camera movement won't just stop, it'll come to a gradual stall. And this transitioning effect isn't limited to just movement, but as zooming in as well. By setting a marker at 24mm, and then setting another marker at 75, you would notice that it can go past the 75mm limit. It can go up to as far as 500mm. But be careful when using it because it's harder to direct where you want the camera to be pointed, and also the character models end up glitching out. However, if you were to rewind, you would notice that the millimeters even get smaller, but only up to 10mm, giving it a fisheye lens. To keep the fisheye lens, delete the previous 2 keyframes, select on the fisheye keyframe, and then select it again, locking it in place. You are now able to scrub through your timeline, creating more keyframes using the fisheye lens. Here's some Skate 3 game knowledge. When you open up a replay editor, the game doesn't default to gameplay view camera. Instead, it defaults to follow cam. With follow cam, you're able to orbit around your skater. But this is the only time you can orbit your skater without having your HUD on. Once you select one of the cameras, it locks it in place, and you can't go back to follow cam and orbit the skater without having your HUD showing. But if you were to create your own angles under Advanced FreeCam, and say you just did not want these angles anymore, and you hit Reset Timeline, the camera gets locked in position right behind your skater no matter what. During follow cam, it loosely follows your skater based off of one point, but the reset camera locks onto one specific point and doesn't let go, giving you crazy visuals like this. Now for something more useful. Let's say you hit a clip and you used the wrong skater. You didn't want to use that, or you wanted to use a free skate skater. Well, if you were to hit it on free skate, you could luckily just go back into free skate and choose the character, and then go back into replay. Everything you just did is now in that character. But while you're in the replay, if you have the skate upgrade pack, you have more options to use, such as brightness, contrast, and tint. If you lower the brightness and contrast and put to these tint settings, you'll get a blurry lens. Or if you put it to these tint settings, you'll get a glowing effect. If you manage to get yourself a glow skater, you would notice that in replays your skater would be blooming and obstructing the replay. Well, if you were to just lower the tint values, the bloom would go down and your skater would look normal. Okay, let's step out of the replay and into the in-game world. In this game, there's only two viewing options, high cam and low cam. I'm not going to start the debate which one's better, okay? Just pick your preference. Low cam better, by the way. But there's a secret third option. If you remember my tripod explanation where it crashes your game, well, there's another side effect to it. And before we get into it, I want to mention my theory of backwards compatibility. As an example of showing why it crashes on Xbox and not PS3, my game crashed offline on Xbox One trying to represent this glitch. No way I crashed, what? However, if you do it on 360 hardware, you still break your console. It doesn't crash, but it just lags. So that's probably just one more point to the porting aspect rather than the backwards compatibility issue. Anyways, if you were to hop on the tripod and get the weird triangle effect with your shirt, you will also be in side cam. And this side cam effect is completely fixed. You cannot change it. Going into options and changing your camera from low to high or high to low will not change it. The only way to get out of side cam is to restart your game. Alright, now this is probably the only AFK glitch in this game, meaning that once you do this glitch, you can just drop your controller and watch the action. To do this glitch, you have to have the San Van Party Pack, because you have to use Party Play. Even though the other games had Party Play for free, this one's a DLC. Thanks, EA. You want to start up Party Play and create a skate game at campus. During a game of skate, once you bail or complete a trick, it goes to the next skater, but you are able to use both skaters. Since you're using an AI model, you're actually controlling an AI skater. Meaning, if you were to bail and then quit the game mid-transition to the next skater, the game will send you into a spectate mode of the nearest AI skater, and you can no longer control it, for that is part of the AFK glitch portion. When switching maps, you might find some goofy entrances like falling from the sky. Or, in my case, I just keep getting a black screen. And going into Replay Editor just crashes the game. When starting a challenge, sometimes the camera doesn't go back to the AI skater and you just see where it previously was. Other times, it'll just wander off. When moving locations to a creative park, sometimes the camera will be out of bounds and you can move the character? I don't know, this glitch is just freaky altogether. And now, here is the last glitch I am going to show you. Just like Sidecam, to get rid of this glitch you have to restart the game. But I don't think you really want to restart the game on this one. Since Skate 3 doesn't have a day and night cycle and it's stuck at 4:20 PM somewhere. No, that's not a weed joke, the clock tower literally says 4:20 PM. Why don't we just make it nighttime ourselves? This is called the Kill It Vision glitch. When you kill a challenge, Skate 3 likes to put on a crazy filter to notify that you've killed this challenge. To get this glitch, you would want to start up a death race, preferably at Park and Play because it's the shortest race. If you didn't know, death race checkpoints are just a suggestion. You can go straight to the finish line if you wanted to, and every death race has its own shortcut. The shortcut for Park and Play is to go over this barrier, onto the street, hop onto this right ledge, drop down, and look at all the time you have left. Now, what you want to do is when you're going to the finish line, you want to pause right before you cross it, and then hit restart. You know you got it when you see the kill it pop up and then it restarts. Once it restarts, you can't press start and exit out. You have to finish the race again. So make sure not to kill it, but own it this time. And then you can exit out and then you have your kill it vision glitch. And yes, this does carry into online lobbies. The only downside is that you can't see shit in the dark. So maybe you do want to restart the game now. And now that was 3 categories in one video. Come back next time where I go over cursed Skate 3 glitches. You don't want to miss it.